What's going on, babers out there? Like me, beginners. I'm a beginner, and I won't lie, I'm not experiencing this shit, so don't believe everything I say. Well, first of all, salud, salud. Mmm, Mocha Express, coffee pot, best coffee ever. Mmm, I enjoy it. Mmm, that's strong, kicks like a mule. Mm-hmm. Put it to the side there. A little bit of water to wash it down. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm. A little bit of vapor to make it go down good. Well, my introduction video is this one. Who am I? I'm Jimmy. People you know me by Jimmy Fish. Um, here on YouTube, being involved with different communities, different things. Um, but now I wanted to open this channel to do more of vaping reviews and vaping related subjects. Um, why is that? Because I really believe that vaping is one of the best alternatives to quit smoking. It helped me quit smoking. Going on a month, been smoking, and I've been a slave of a cigarette for 26 years. 26 years smoking a pack a day. Um, and I decided to quit. But on the past, I've tried patches, gum, pills, nothing worked. This time, I gave it a go to vaping a couple of years back. Those small cigarettes, and didn't like them at all. And somebody I know told me, "Hey, try this," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's try it." So he gave it to me. Had it on my drawer, just like 1 2 days. Had it on my drawer for over almost a year. Didn't use it. Then I said here to myself, I need to quit cold turkey. But it was very hard to quit after being addicted to nicotine for smoking. So more than the nicotine, was like smoking cigarettes. It's more of a habit than the nicotine. Like vaping, you can have it. I replace one habit with the other. Um, so, but vaping is not as toxic as cigarette smoke, and you don't need to be a scientist to figure that one out. Really, you got vapor and you got fumes, so you're burning stuff. It's different, So I searched the alternative, and it's worked for me so far, and I'm very happy about that because I feel better. I don't feel as tired anymore. I can breathe better. I can sleep better. Just several changes have been happening since I quit smoking. The first week was very hard. Very hard. I won't lie to you. I wanted to smoke so bad, but I stuck to my guns and continued vaping. And you know what? I'm not gonna go back to that shit. I'm, staying out of it. I quit. And when I meant, when I said I quit, I meant it. I really meant I quit. That's it. There's no more cigarettes for me. So let me tell you how I started. I'm going to tell you my story on vaping, and it's going to be on several segments. And I'm going to give you the information that I've picked up so far, and that might help you if you're trying to quit smoking. And you're trying to pick up vaping as an alternative to smoking. Because let me tell you, it's a crazy world out there, and the vaping industry is floating right now. There's so much stuff going around that's crazy, crazy. Um, so before I start, let me just take a little sip of my Let me wash it a little bit of water. That thing's intense. Let me take a little bit of a vape here. So, when I started, this is what I got. This is what my friend got for me. This Vision Spinner. This is a Vision Spinner. It's a variable voltage battery with a 510 connector. It's a 510 connector. They call them Egos, Ego Pens, E-Bots. I just call them spinners or pen style, batteries. Because they're batteries, that's all they are, just batteries. But these batteries have a dial on the bottom. You can, dial the voltage from 3.3 on this one all the way up to 4.8 volts. Why do I want volts? Why do I want electricity? What's the difference? Well, this battery, when you turn out the voltage, this button right here, you can see it right there, that button right there, that's the fire button. That's when you press it, it'll make contact, and that contact in there will start passing on electricity. What does that do? Well, that powers up a coil, right? So, what do you mean a coil? Well, there's coils inside tanks. What the hell are tanks? This is a tank. This is a tank. And this tank attaches to this pin or this battery. Wow. So, what is this device? Well, this is a vaping unit. You can vape with this. Let me give you the parts of it so you can understand better why we need electricity. Battery, you don't take it apart, this just stays together all the time. All you do is screw in a little charger, plug it in with a USB to any computer or any wall outlet that has a USB adapter to it, and it will charge the battery. The tanks. Okay, tanks come in very different colors, sizes, prices, resistances. Coils are rated by resistance. What is resistance? Resistance is how much current that coil allows it to flow. How much I don't know if it's how much power it allows it to flow through it. What is a coil? It's what it sounds like, coil. Spiral piece of wire. And you put electricity through it, what happens? Yeah, it becomes, energized, and it'll get hot because there's electricity passing through it, like I had those electrical heaters. Yeah, that's like an element from the electric or your electric dryer. Yeah, same thing. So we got your tank. This is your air chamber. This is your mouthpiece. This is your tank. This bottom part right here is your base with diminute air holes. And that right there is your coil. Let me take out the coil, because these coils can be changed. Once they go boop boop, you can change them and put a new fresh one on it. The reason why is after using them for so long, you're gonna start getting this burnt taste on your vapor, and you need to replace it. So this is your coil, and as you can see, it has perforations, and inside those perforations it has some kind of cotton in it, right? Kind of cotton in it, and that's your contact. And that inside, that's your spiral coil going down the middle with cotton around it. And that through the middle is an air hole. It's empty. It goes down and out the vents right here. Those little vents right there. So what you do, this contact, you're not supposed to spark it up dry. You'll burn it out. So see that? That's the contact. That contact goes into this pin. Let me press the, no, don't press the button. You burn it out. So then you say, well, that's the that's the coil. Yeah, that's the coil. This is the tank. And this is the mouthpiece with the air duct. And as you can see there, you see the coil and the air duct. There's a little gap in the middle. So twisted, that air duct will connect to that coil. It'll connect to that coil. So it makes a complete air duct all the way down. So the air flows from this little small little holes. From there, when you take a drag, like, air travels through those little holes, up through the contact little holes that I showed you, up through the middle of the coil, up through the air duct, out the mouthpiece. Now, what creates the vapor? The vapor is created by e-juice, electronic juice, electronic cigarette juice, e-juice. I could just call it juice. So, you see that air duct in there? Okay. And this is the coil, right? It is screwed onto the base. And when you screw this together, the air duct and the coil connect, right? Okay. Then what you're gonna do, you see those little holes where the cotton is, all around that coil? There's where all the e-juice is gonna go through the coil, and all that cotton inside is gonna be soaked on that juice. And that juice, when it gets heated up, by that hot, glowing coil, it will actually evaporate, and it will cause the vapor. And the vapor carries your nicotine and carries your flavor. So, you see how it is? Now, how do you load up the juice? Well, you get your tank, you put it at an angle, you put the tip of the juicer, whatever dropper, whatever juice bottle you have, and you want to get it as full as possible, but without getting any of that juice inside the air duct. That air duct in the middle. So that's your marker, that air duct. So you're gonna, just tilt it a little bit and start pouring it in slowly until it gets all the way filled out, and just right below the air duct. Once it's filled out with juice, you get your tank, get your bottom part, close it. Once you turn it, all that juice is going to start going down, going into those little holes on that coil, soaking it up and get it ready to fire. Once you have it filled up with juice, you connect it, you get it to the lowest dial, the lowest setting, and you press it for 2 seconds and then let it go. Press it for 2 seconds, let it go. Press it for 2 seconds, let it go. And then by the third time, you start taking a hit, see how much vapor it produces. If it does not produce enough vapor, then that means you have to just crank it up just a little bit and then again, hit it again. Whenever you're using a coil for the first time, you have to prime it. What does priming mean? Priming means you gotta get it soaked up with oil, with that oily beet juice. So you get your dropper and you pour a little bit in there, and then you pour on those little holes around, all around the little holes in the coil. You pour a drop, 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 drop around, and then in the middle, and then that's primed up. You already filled out your tank. You close it. It's good to go. Again, you know, you're gonna put it on your pan, and then what are you gonna do? You're gonna start, you know, firing it up. One, and then start hitting it. Now, that's the basic function of the twister. For variable voltage, pin, whatever you want to call it. There's so many names. That's the thing with this thing, man. Whenever you start, you're like, okay, what the hell is that? Yeah, that was me a couple of weeks back. I was like, mod? Mechanical mod? Sub ohm? Resistance? Wattage? Temperature control? RTA? RDA? What the hell is that shit? Oh yeah, that was me. But I started reading into it, you know, I like to learn. Well, then I started using this, you know, it was cool, it was nice, but after a while I was like, I'm not getting, you know, that vapor that I want, that kick that I want. So, smart me, I went and got a bigger tank with more airflow. This Ignateless Mini. I'm like, well, and then we get a bigger battery. You know, just got a bigger battery, you know. So I got the same freaking thing, but 1600 milliamps, so it's just gonna last me longer. But it throws out the same freaking power, so yeah, it wasn't very smart. And this tank is a larger tank, it's a better tank. It's gonna cost you more, not a lot more, just like $10-15 more. So I bought the freaking battery, the same one as this one, smart me. And this tank came with this little beauty ring. It's called beauty rings. It's just like a tech support, you know. So it won't look kind of odd, you know, when you put it on the pen, you know, it's gonna look odd. So that thing is to cover that. This is a 510 connector. That's what they call those 510 connectors. So here, my friends, you're messing with electricity, electronics, and you're messing with voltage and wattage and amperage and resistance. Do you need to know all that shit right now? No, but you actually have to learn it with time if you start messing with other things. But with this is regulated, you know, it's kind of safe. Kind of safe meaning, you know, it can get wet and short circuit and stuff like that. So I bought this tank, and this tank, you know, it has that variable air duct, air hole. So you twist it, clicks, twist it, clicks, twist it, clicks. So what it does is that every time it turns, there's a different orifice there. So one's larger, it goes from small to large. So the larger the air, the orifice on the air, the more air you're going to get through the tank. And of course, if you have the right power on it, you're going to get more vapor. So let's start at the lowest setting. There's a 3.2 volts. And let's start at the smallest hole. I'm already powering it up. Wow. like a cigarette. Mmm. Ooh, cigarette. Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah. When I started smoking this, I cranked it up to 3.6. So I was like, hey, smoke's too light. So I went ahead and I was like, okay, well, let me turn it up to the next little hole. More air, more air. It's a little bit better. Let me just crank it up a little bit more, and this is a 4 volts now. And wow, I like it. I started liking it a little more. I was like, you know what? Let me get more in there. Let me get more in there so I can start, really just cranking it up. Mm-hmm. Nice. And it was good for a week, just a week. So I was like, well, after a week, I was fully down on open air, most air, and fully blasting all the power of the battery. The battery wouldn't last me an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So I was just going through this thing like nothing. There's more like it, right? So like, yeah, I like it better. And I started doing the cigarette type of drags, like, but I wasn't satisfied with that. I was like, man, let me get something more in there. Wow. And then I felt it. That thick vapor going down my throat directly to my lungs, coming back out, bypassing the mouth. Hmm, it's a different kind of hit. I think I like it. So I started doing that. But what happened? I started overheating the coil because I was pushing it to its limits. So, smart me, I went and got another tank. Right? Just got another tank. Why not? It works. So I got the big brother of the mini Nanolyst. I got the Nanolyst, regular Nanolyst. Fully down, full open air flow, fully blasted. Hey, this one smokes much better. Shit, there's more vapor. Again, doing the bypass. And this one is the same exact thing as this one. The only difference is you have a variable airflow dial on it, just twist it and dial the right perforation. You got more capacity on the juice, and you have a bigger coil. So that bigger coil gives you more quantity of vapor, more area to evaporate. You have a bigger coil, more wicking, more cotton, and more juice flowing in there to evaporate. So that's why it bakes better. So you have larger area of actual the heating element is bigger. So it's heating up more area and vaping better. So I was very satisfied, for another week with this. I was like, damn, this is shit, you know. It's a nice tank, $25 tank, $20, $25 pen. I think I'm cool with this. I'm cool. But again, I started going through the battery fast. I was satisfied more or less with the vapor, but the battery was like, eh. So I went myself and got me a 20-watt water mod. Well, that's gonna be the next video. So today we talked about introduction to my channel, what I'm doing here, how did I start, where did I start using, how did I progress from small spinner tanks to something larger in tanks. How they work? They work with wattage, voltage, amperage, resistance, all coils. All they are is just a little piece of water in a coil, certain resistance to it, just power up voltage, pass it through there, gets warm and glows like an element from your stove. You see those crows on the stove, electric stoves, start glowing red to heat up your food. Well, the same thing happens there. A little coil glows red and starts evaporating that juice. So that's how it works. That's what it is. And when you get your first setup, that's what defines if you're gonna stay vaping or not. So if you get a very shitty setup, you're probably gonna drop it right away. You won't like it. If you start getting an okay setup and you get something out of it, then you'll be like, let me look more into it. That's what happened to me. That's how I got involved, because I started getting better tasting juice, started getting a better kick on the nicotine. I started vaping, getting more satisfaction out of vapor. After 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, I didn't even looked and turned to cigarettes anymore. I was like, cigarettes were gone. It's like vaping is the shit. I don't want to know nothing to do with cigarettes now. But it's a progression. Now this is a mod, and this is Salon tank. Salon, what the hell is Salon? I'll explain to you later what Salon means. Yeah, that's vaping. That's good vaping right there. And this is not even it. There's more. So next segment, next video, it will be on how you change from this and this to this. So if you have any questions that I can help you with, I'll gladly do it, as long as I can help you quit smoking. That's very important. You're going to start feeling much better, and this, I think, is it's a good alternative, and I think this is the only thing that really can work, help you quit. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching this long. I'll bring you back another video explaining to you how to, you're going from regular Ego Twist pens to modulated or regulated mods. So thank you for watching. This is the Vaping Fish, and see you soon again. Bye bye.